Okay, we're back. It's a minute later. You lost your last arena game due to a disconnect. Well, thanks, Hearthstone. That's very unfortunate. We were definitely ahead in that game. The opponent had played a card that just died to our turn one play. So, you know, it sucks, but what can you do? Other than jump right back into the next game. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. It's just a problem with BattleNet. It's not a problem on my end because all of my other internet activities, like applications, were working just fine. So, thanks, Blizzard. And of course, we get a much worse hand to start off this game. I'm actually just going to send this all back because this deck really wants 2-drops in its opener. Like every deck, but god damn it. But this deck especially because it's so aggressive. In classic Hearthstone style, of course, we're going to lose a game because of a disconnect, and then lose a game because we get no 2-drops, despite seeing 8 cards and having like 10 in our deck. Well, like, the thing about Hearthstone is Arena, is that with no 2-mana plays, okay, we drew a 2-mana play, so I take back some of my whining. But with no 2-mana plays, you're like 70% to lose that game, because this is such a tempo-based game. We will probably have to use the coin to play a spell on turn 3. Not playing something on turn 3 I think will set us too far behind, but we want to play this Totem Golem on turn 2. It's possible I should have just coined Totem Golem turn 1 and done nothing. Turn 2. But I think this way works out slightly better just because... no, it's more or less the same, except we don't have a Totem Golem out early if we're planning to coin something this turn. But of course, if we draw a 2-drop, which we did, and if we draw like a better 2-drop, then we can use that. Alright, we got a Spider Tank. So I have a couple options. I can Lance Carrier this and send it into the Spider Tank. I don't think that's good. I think I just want to kill the Amani Berserker. So I'm going to coin out a Tuskar Totemic here. And then eat the Amani Berserker. See what totem we get. It's a Taunt Totem. That's actually great for us, because it protects our 3/2s from the Spider Tank. So this next turn we'll be using Lance Carrier to kill the 3/4 probably. And then just make a totem. I could also send Argent Horse Rider into the Spider Tank and have a Horse Rider. I don't think that's necessary. I could just play a Twilight Drake, trade off both of these. That also seems worse. But Lance Carrier trade just leaves me with a Lance Carrier and a totem in play. Against my opponent's nothing. Horse Rider trade leaves me with a Horse Rider and nothing in play. I think Lance Carrier trade is best here. It's a little unfortunate, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I guess I should have checked the totem first, because if it was a taunt totem, maybe I didn't want to trade in for the Spider Tank right away. Alright, draw 3 cards. Obviously we're not thrilled about seeing that, but it could be worse for us. Ooh, that's actually going to be a really nice draw, I think, later on. Do I want to play Silverhand Regent and Totem, or... Yeah, I think Silverhand Regent plus Totem is going to work out pretty well for us here. Unless the opponent has Swipe. If they have Swipe, we're sad. And maybe I shouldn't have done that because of Swipe. But the reason I wanted to do that is because it sets us up with a lot of totems for this Thunderbluff Valiant later on in the game. This still could be a Swipe. Druid of the Saber as a stealth dude. Mark of the Wild, given that +2/+2 in taunt. Still okay with that. I'm gonna... Oh, man. I thought this was going to be a pretty easy Fire Elemental, but Cult Master is very tempting. I don't actually think we need to draw more cards, though, if you look at how many cards our opponent has versus how many cards we have. I'm just going to Fire Elemental, trade in these two. Hit the opponent's face. And just continue trying to set up for the Thunderbluff Valiant. He's going to probably trade in the Panther for the 3/3 here. Basically, I think the way we lose this game is if I get too greedy with the Cult Master and then the opponent does something nuts. That basically is an ideal turn for us to see. Like, couldn't be worse against Thunderbluff Valiant. So, because it even lets us trade in the Searing Totem for his 2/3. And he's going to have a really hard time dealing with this, I think, given that he has no board. So we should be able to just sweep to victory. I'm going to get a Cult Master. Oh, he has Malorn. I don't even think that card's very good in Arena. So I think my plan is to go Totem. Do I want Cult Master or Argent Commander along with my Totem? As sad as it makes me, I think we're going to continue to not use this Cult Master. And this is just because I want to save damage on my Thunderbluff Valiant. I just want to save health on this thing. It'll easily win the game by itself if we just keep it alive. This is a Wrath, probably. Oh, it's an Ironforge Rifleman? Okay, that's fine. So now we can probably use the Cult Master. Or the opponent can see the writing on the wall. We got a lot of free cards that game, and just generally speaking, our opponent was in really rough shape the whole time. Alright, we're going to keep jumping in. Okay, more druids. More no 2-drops. Just gonna ship everything that isn't a 2-drop, basically, in the hopes of getting a hand like this one, which is more or less perfect opening hand. Now it is a perfect opening hand, basically. If we can start turn 2 Totem Golem every game, then we might get more than the 8 wins I was hoping for. Living Roots is an interesting card that Druids seem to be playing quite heavily. Making 2 1/1s on turn 1 is fine. I don't know that it's great, but you know, it does what it does. Oh, it does pretty well when you have an abusive sergeant, though. Is this coin hero power? Sure. I don't know if it's worth it to use the coin for that, but it easily could be, so I don't blame my opponent for that. Just saving this 1-1 seems okay. It's bad against like Lightning Storm and good against other stuff that isn't Lightning Storm. Okay, at least you didn't hit my 2-3 with that. So now we get to play what's in the box, probably. Do I just want a 4-3 instead? 4-3 might be better than what's in the box. Because the problem is neither Flame Tongue nor Mana Tide are good. So this Tuskar Totemic, I think, is pretty weak here. So I'm just going to let the opponent get the free Gilblin Stalker and trade my Kazan Mystic for his board, hopefully. If he just spends this turn hero powering and clearing my stuff, that's fine. We get to play a Silverhand Regent on an empty board. If he has a play, that's also fine. Sure. So, again, just force him to use his hero power every turn, stops him from doing anything that isn't use his hero power. Seems okay. If he wants to just like trade in the Stalker plus a hero power for my Regent. And if he doesn't, then I just get to make 1-1s. So we've got one of those. Okay, he's got a Living Roots, which is just going to be some 1-1s. Naturalize, destroy a minion, I draw 2 cards. Alright, we are going deep. Huh. This says to me the opponent could have Savage Roar because he just wants to have the board covered in stuff. I'm tempted to just play Totemic plus Totem plus Forked Lightning, but if I miss on a spell damage totem, that's bad. Another tempting play is Cult Master. Another tempting play is just Argent Commander, kill his Stone Splinter Trog, trade off, leave me with a 4-2 against his like not much stuff. Once he's naturalized my guys, I'm just so ahead on cards. I think all I need to do is maintain tempo, but my cards are actually quite weak. So I think I'll go. I think I will play what's in the box. Okay, well it was a Wrath of Air totem anyways, so let's trade. Let's make another totem. And we'll play a Forked Lightning and just see what we hit. Okay, perfect. And the reason I wanted to do that is just, clear the opponent's board in case this is a Savage Roar. And that's his plan. If he has something giant, then okay, it was Sea Giant, so that's also like more or less what we expect from that sort of play. I could just play Cult Master and trade in my 1-1 for a card. That seems okay. I could just play like Micro Machine Totem. I think I like Cult Master and trade in the 1-1 because it sort of forces him to attack my Cult Master with his Sea Giant, and I can also just use Argent Commander to finish it off. So I have to. My opponent's got only big stuff. I guess that's sort of to be expected given his plays so far. But I just want to play stuff like Anything that affects the board quickly. Gonna see what he's gonna play next. If he just like plays some stuff and I can Bloodlust and clear the board and just have 6 cards in hand to his no cards in hand, that would also be good. Unfortunately, the Spellbreaker has not been great. Although we could play it against the Raging Worgen, that would be fine. This could be worth Bloodlusting. It just lets me clear his board. I'll have a Twilight Drake and a Puddle Stomper against nothing. I also wouldn't mind just like playing Frostwolf Warlord and Twilight Drake and trading in. Actually, that seems better. He can have a Raging Worgen. Because I get an 8/8 Frostwolf Warlord. And the option of Bloodlusting and sending the Wrath of Air Totem at his Raging Worgen is still there. Or at his Emperor Cobra, I suppose. We'll be silencing the Emperor Cobra, most likely. Gonna start with a totem here. Taunt Totem's a pretty good one. I'll use Spellbreaker to silence this. I would rather him have a 2/3 than a 3/2. And do I just ignore that and hit face? And I think that's all we need to do this turn. Guess I can play... Nah, there's no need to play the Thrallmar Farseer. He's gonna just trade in. If he doesn't, he's dead, because I have this Bloodlust. Unless he has a taunt. No, even if he has a taunt, because I have Earthshock to finish it off. Let me just make sure of my math. That's 14 plus 8 is 22, plus 3 is 25. So, yep, that's game. And that's why I'm not so high on Living Roots as a card. I feel like it doesn't do quite enough to justify an entire card slot. Nice. So we picked up all of our quests so far. Plus we're at 5 wins. Should be 6. I think we would have easily won that game, judging by our opponent's plays up until when we disconnected. But like I say, things happen. Sometimes you get unlucky. Alright. This is looking good so far. Do I keep this Defender of Argus? I think not. I'm going to look for a Totem Golem. So if the opponent does nothing, I think I will just play this Whirling Zap-O-Matic. If he then just has like a 3/2, it just lets me get in for 3 and then trade. We don't have any combos with the Zap-O-Matic currently. No Tuskar Totemics, no Flame Tongues. It forces a Wrath if he has the Wrath, you know. And we don't mind trading 1 for 1 early because we're playing second, so we start with an extra card, more or less. I'm going to send my Argent Horse Rider into that and at least make him use his next turn on a hero power. And if he doesn't, then we can Defender of Argus it up so that it can no longer be hero powered. If he has Swipe here and wants to like swipe, that's also fine. Wait. Oh, he picked the wrong one. That sucks for him. For me, it's okay though. Do I just make a totem or play a Defender of Argus? I think I want to punish that. So basically, he chose give my minions +1/+1 instead of make a 3/2. I think I want to just punish that by getting out ahead on board. Wow, that sucks so bad for him. Let's make a totem. It's not a Wrath of Air totem. I'm really concerned that this Crackle is not going to roll 4 damage. I just want to trade my 2/3 for the plus the Crackle. Okay, it rolled 4 damage. If it rolls 6, that's obviously great. If it rolls 3, that's terrible. But I think it's worth taking that risk. Although maybe not, because that overloads me for turn 6, so I can't play this Argent Commander. Yeah, maybe that was bad. Maybe I also just want to go face with that, because it's an extra 2 damage, puts him to 16, and then Crackle has him at minimum 13, or maximum 13, and then I can use Argent Commander for some more damage. Okay, Starfire that guy is fine. I'm just going to play a 4/3 here, I think. Hit for 1. I wish I had some better cards in my hand. This Earthshock isn't going to do anything, probably, unless he plays, like, Twilight Drake. At this point, I think I have the second Argent Commander. I'm just going to go face. This should be hard to stop. I have Earthshock and Spellbreaker to block taunts, so he needs actual removal. Basically, a swipe would do it. Swipe would get him out of this quite handily, unfortunately, but I even have this Stalker who can get through an extra 2 damage, maybe. Alright, opponent looking for swipe. I think once he's spent 4 mana, that's the only card that gets him out of this. Although a taunt, I guess, like, sort of does it. Okay, so Mech Yeti, and hit my 4/3, and dies to my Argent Commander. So a lot of that came down to my opponent selecting the wrong mode on Power of the Wild. I don't know if we would have won if he hadn't done that. That really sucks. I don't know if I've ever done that myself, but I've certainly come close. And I've done equally dumb things. It just feels so bad, because you're like, oh, there's no way if this wasn't a video game that would have happened, you know, if we were playing cards over a kitchen table. This could be an easy loss, given if we don't draw some 2-drops. Okay, we got a Micro Machine, which is not the ideal 2-mana play, but at least it's something, and Argent Horse Rider can get us back into it, especially against a Shaman. This is a very important joust to win, and we did. I'm going to coin out this Puddle Stomper, because it can maybe protect the Micro Machine. And we have a curve 1, 2, 3, 4. Rockbiter weapon is fine here. We trade that for the Puddle Stomper. He's just trying to protect his 1/2, so I'll play my 2/2. And hope this isn't Shattered Sun Cleric or something equally horrible for us. That's also pretty bad. Stoneforge Axe is sometimes just unbeatable. Do we care about the 1-2? Not really, so do I just totem? Like, I could send my 2-1 into his 1-2, force him to use an Axe charge, but I think this is going to get something more important, so I'm just going to totem and pass, and then use Twilight Drake. Kind of sucks that this is the 1-1, because if it was an 0-2, he would probably have used another Stormforge Axe charge. So now, presumably, he trades his board into my Twilight Drake. Or he has a Hex, which is also that's a fine card to get hexed. I mean, it's not fantastic for us. Couple options here. I could play just Kazan Mystic, and then he just trades his 3-3 in, or his Axe and his 1-1. Probably Axe and 1-1. I could play Silverhand Regent, make it totem. I think that's going to be the best. I just want to get some stuff on the board at some point. I think we're going to lose this game regardless, because we have no good catch-up mechanisms, and that Taunt Totem actually really hurts our Argent Horse Rider plan. Yeah, with that Fire Elemental, I think this game is just 100% over. Him having Stormforged Axe just makes this game like really hard to win. We'll make a Tuskar Totemic and just see what we get. A Vitality Totem. Send that in. I'm going to at least force him to spend some cards on stuff. Okay, he has a Kodo. I actually think you probably don't want to do that there, or at least trade in the 1-1, because one of the ways you lose this game is Mind Control Tech, or the Overload deal 5 to everything spell. Anyways, we can just easily concede this game. We have no ways to come back from it. Like, we could maybe force the opponent to play that out, but there's just not much point in doing so. Stormforge Axe in some games is useless, and in some games is just unbeatable. It basically depends on whether your opponent's 2-drop is a 2-3 or a 3-2. If it's a 2-3, then Stormforge Axe is useless, and if it's a 3-2, it's unbeatable. Like if they have like coin 3-2 into 3-2, which is what we had, or into, you know, Micro Machine, which is a 2 toughness guy. Alright, we do have a Totem Golem this game, so we're back on track for that. See if we can get another 2-drop to play after it. Nope. That's fine, though. This deck is all cheap stuff, so okay. Zap-O-Matic is a great follow-up to the Totem Golem, because the Zap-O-Matic will be... the Golem will protect the Zappo. I'm tempted to just play Zap-O-Matic and then play Tuskar Totemic, and then if we get Flame Tongue, we win the game instantly. But I think this is a safer play. The only thing this is bad against is Shielded Minibot, which that is not. I want this on the left of it, I think. No, I want it on... yeah, I want it on the left of that. So if this is Abusive Sergeant or a Lance Carrier, then that really sucks for us. I think I just want the Totemic here. See what totem we get. Healing Totem is not useful in this spot, but it's okay. Maybe I shouldn't have played Maybe we should have just made a totem there, because giving him a 2 toughness guy, like most of the effects that can pump that egg will give it 2 attack. Consecration's actually not that bad for us. Like, he basically cleared a Tuskar Totemic with it. I'll just do Argent Horse Rider plus Totem this turn. Forked Lightning could be pretty good. Double 3 damage. We also have Cult Master. That's fine for us. Obviously, a second Consecration would get us pretty well here, but there's not much we can do about that. At least we get a card back by eating his Booty Bay Bodyguard. If he doesn't have the second Consecration, we're going to get to cash in a bunch of this stuff with Cult Master, and that should put us in nice shape. Coin and... what does he have? Humility, okay. Well, Coin Humility still won't do it, because we can use Forked Lightning to clear both of those. So do I... another option is Thunderbluff Valiant and Totem. So what does that do for us? That gives us a 2 attack, a 2 attack. Yeah, no, that doesn't clear the board effectively enough. I think, this overloads 2, which is annoying, because I want next turn really badly to play Valiant plus Totem. I mean, I could go Valiant plus Forked Lightning. I think I'm just going to do Cult Master. Would I rather have a 2-1 or a 1-2? I would rather have a 1-1, Forked Lightning, trade in, make a Totem. Cool, got healed. This Thunderbluff Valiant would have been really good in this spot if I could use its ability. Okay, so we're just Arcane Goleming. Oh, nice! That lets me activate my Valiant. That's cute. I think I want to keep the Healing Totem over the Wrath of Air Totem, because I don't have any spells in my hand, and the Healing Totem could be very useful. If he doesn't have a way to deal with this Valiant, that is devastating. Oh, he also has Mysterious Challenger into 2 secrets? Okay. Oh, that was a nice one, so I'll start with that. And that was a redemption. So this one can't be a redemption, could be a get down, so I'm gonna use a totem. Hit this. It's Avenge. Perfect. Because then I can trade in these 2 for the Avenged guy. And then I guess I'll just play this Twilight Drake. Kizan Mystic, man. Oof. Sylvanas. I have a lot of silence in this deck. Oh, continuing to draw the Stone Perfect. I get to make a totem. Spellbreak Sylvanas. I will trade in this and this. And I will play a Micro Machine. I want to keep, if I can, at some point, I would like to keep a healing totem alive with this Thunderbolt Valiant. Oh, he did draw the mind control tech. Oh, damn it. No, I was gonna say I can't play around mind control tech because I'm gonna have to make totems every turn anyways. So if he has it, he'll just get me with it. So that does suck. We're still in really good shape, but that's not great for us. Let's see. Oh, Emperor Cobra matches up pretty well against that. So let's. I think I just play Silverhand Regent. When he hits my taunt totem, it's going to come back as a taunt totem. Make a totem. It's going to be a healing totem, so I will trade in my 4/3 for his 3/3 probably. Or is no, it's probably better just to trade in the 4/1. I don't care if he has a Thunderbluff Valiant. I don't really care if he has a captured German Glar. I'm gonna play an Emperor Cobra and hit face. I do lose to Equality Consecration. But we've beaten Mind Control Tech stealing a guy, plus Sylvanas, plus Mysterious Challenger getting 2 secrets this game. So he knew that was a redemption. So this is a Consecration. This is a Holy Wrath. Sure. I think you want to Holy Wrath this guy, actually. Save your Jormungandr. That's pretty good. That's a lot of value. So we have 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. Oh, well, we have 1 billion damage. Pretty satisfying to beat a Sylvanas. That's the single best legendary in Arena. Probably the single best card in Arena. Yeah, I think probably. Ancient of Lore might be better. That was a sweet game, though. And anything after this is just pure profit. So I'm going to keep this Micro Machine. I will look again for a second 2-drop. I don't need to keep 2, 3, 4 in this deck, because this deck is, like, has a great curve. So I can keep something like just a 2-drop and look for a second 2-drop, and now we get 2, 2, 2, or 1, 2, 3. I don't know if we're going to win this game because a mage is one of the worst matchups for this deck, which wants to just spread out a bunch of minions on the board that the mage can then just flame strike. But if we can maintain board control with my 3 early plays, and then just start going off with Silverhand Regent, and the opponent doesn't have flame strike to deal with it, that could be good. I'm going to just play this Micro Machine. If the opponent doesn't have an early play, that's fine. And if he does have an early play, that's also fine. We'll just trade the Micro Machine for it. So like in this spot, he's just going to send his Stalker into my Micro Machine. And then basically this was just a normal 2-mana 3/2. Which is a totally respectable play. See what he's got on 3. If this is a Spider Tank or something, that could be bad. If it's not, if it's just Fire Blast, then that's fine for us. I'm just going to play this Silverhand Regent. If his intention is to Fire Blast again this turn, then fine. If his intention isn't to do that, then maybe we can trade our Puddle Stomper for something, and if not, at the very least, we get to activate Silverhand Regent once. And if this guy just is a 3-mana 3/3 that makes a 1/1, then it has done its job. It is tempting to Totemic, though. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that instead. Much as I would like to activate the Regent, okay, well, this is the first time we've gotten Flame Tongue Totem this game, and if our opponent can't remove it, then we will show why Tuskar Totemic is such a stupid card, with a 1 in 8 chance of just winning you the game immediately. So I'll trade my 5/1 for his 4/3 to protect my Flame Tongue Totem. And I think I'm just going to go... He still can't Flame Strike. Maybe I Crackle, actually. Let's see what totem we get first. Wrath of Air totem? Wait, I can put the opponent to not very much life, can't I? And he can't Flame Strike? Yeah, let's just go face. With the opponent at 9, I feel like there's not much he can do to get out of this. We have Argent Commanders and Fire Elementals as fast damage. We have a Crackle in hand and a Spell Damage Totem in play. He needs to spend mana on Fire Blast. He needs to spend mana on something that taunts or gains life. And that won't do it, so that's an easy win for us. Even rolling minimum damage on that Crackle. I just think of Crackle as a 4 damage burn spell, because I never in my life roll more than minimum damage on a Crackle. So there's the 8 wins that we picked up. And actually, this episode is getting super long, so I am going to cut it here. There was the disconnect, but we're sitting at 8 wins and 2 losses, so I will probably just jump right back in. But thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this so far. Sorry about losing an episode and the long wait, but I will be back shortly with more Free to Legendary. As always, feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you folks later. GG.